Here's a psychology fact that might save your sanity. If you walk into a crowded room, a bar, a networking event, a mall, and your immediate physical reaction is, I need to get out of here right now, that is not a panic attack. And despite what your friends might tell you, it's not because you're antisocial or uptight. You are experiencing a biological reaction that psychologists call sensory overload response. There is a massive misconception that hating crowds means you are afraid of people. But if you are watching this, you know that's a lie. You like people, you just hate the environment. And there is a specific evolutionary reason why. Psychologists refer to this trait as high sensory processing sensitivity. Most people think the goal of a social event is to relax. But for your brain, a crowd isn't a place to relax, it's a battlefield of data. While your friends are busy laughing and ignoring the background noise, your brain is doing something completely different. It is tracking every movement, filtering every sound, and analyzing every micro-expression. Once you understand the 6 hidden mechanisms running in your background, you'll stop feeling guilty for leaving the party early. You'll realize you aren't broken, you're just running a different operating system. But here's where it gets even deeper. Most people never notice these signs until they're completely burned out. Fact 1. The broken filter. First, let's talk about your filters. Imagine a tea strainer. In an average brain, the strainer is tight. It catches the big stuff, the conversation you're having, and it lets the rest flow away. The background music, the clinking glasses, the footsteps. The average brain deletes that data instantly. But your brain? Your strainer has giant holes. Psychology calls this low latent inhibition. Your brain struggles to label background noise as irrelevant. So you don't just hear your friend talking, you hear the music, the air conditioner, the chewing sound at the table next to you, and the door opening across the room. You aren't irritable because you're mean. You're irritable because you are processing 500% more data than the person sitting next to you. Fact 2. The sentry mode. Second, you have what evolutionary biologists call the entry instinct. Thousands of years ago, tribes needed 2 types of people. They needed the ones who sat by the fire and bonded, and they needed the one who sat at the edge of the camp, watching the dark for predators. That's you. In a crowd, your brain automatically tracks exits. You position yourself with your back to the wall. You monitor the mood of the room. You can't just let loose and close your eyes because your biology thinks you are on guard duty. You aren't scared, you are vigilant.
Fact 3. The empathy sponge.
And this leads to the third fact, which is the most exhausting one. You absorb energy. People who dislike crowds often score off the charts for mirror neuron activity. If you are standing next to someone who is anxious, you become anxious. If someone is angry, you feel the tension in your own chest. Being in a crowd is like walking through a radio interference field. You're picking up 100 different emotional signals at once, and your brain is trying to empathize with all of them simultaneously. It's an emotional short circuit.
Fact 4. The inauthenticity radar.
A lot of the time, you don't hate the crowd, you hate the fakeness. High-functioning brains are often pattern recognition machines. In large groups, social dynamics become performative. People fake laugh. They say things they don't mean. They posture for status. Your brain detects these inconsistencies instantly. It feels like a glitch in the matrix. You find yourself feeling bored or even disgusted, not because you think you're better than them, but because your brain craves high-density, real connection, and crowds rarely offer that. Fact 5. Proxemics. The territory breach. Fifth is a concept called proxemics. Everyone has an invisible bubble around them called personal space. For extroverts, this bubble is small. For you, it's likely much larger. When a stranger bumps into you or stands too close in a crowded bar, your brain fires a threat response. That's territorial instinct. Your body literally reacts as if you were being attacked, releasing a tiny spike of cortisol. Do that 50 times a night, and no wonder you're exhausted. Fact 6. The glucose crash.
Finally, there is the physical cost. Processing all this data, the lights, the sounds, the emotions, burns glucose, brain fuel, at a rapid rate. The crash you feel after being social isn't a mood swing, it is metabolic exhaustion. You have physically depleted your energy reserves. You didn't just hang out, you ran a cognitive marathon. If you found yourself nodding to any of this, good. It means you can finally stop apologizing for it. You've spent your whole life trying to force yourself to enjoy loud bars and chaotic parties because you thought that's what normal people do. But here is the truth you've been avoiding. You are trying to run high-performance software on hardware that wasn't built for mass consumption. The world is designed for the average brain, the brain that filters out the noise. Your brain is the noise detector. That friction you feel, that isn't a defect. That is the cost of awareness. So if you want to be happier, stop trying to fix your reaction. You don't need to build a thicker skin. You need to respect your bandwidth. It's okay to leave early, it's okay to say no, and it's okay to prefer the quiet. Your brain isn't broken, it's just highly calibrated. Treat it that way. Stop fighting your biology and start understanding it. If you're ready to decode your own mind, subscribe to Mind Blueprint.